What's up, man? No, spoilers for tomorrow's video, but I did a full Ruins run and I got top 4%, so I don't need to do that again. Consistently ranking in the top 5% or so every week. They all look the same. I can't tell them apart. They all look exactly the same, just generic anime blobs. I can't tell them apart half the time. They look exactly the same. Character design in this game leaves a lot to be desired. Just like generic anime people. It's Moe Blob the game.
今目的地に向かっているわ。了解。ウォーミングアップに使ってあげる。 時期を見て動く。大事だ。出発です。あなたたち相手にはこの一式で十分です。慎重に行きましょう。
Is my mic on? Yeah, it is on. Okay. I upgraded my drivers. Apparently, I think the driver I was on was causing some of those problems. I got Assault Spy to work again, which is that game's like my comfort game, so I'm glad I have that back. Had to tweak the settings. I'm probably gonna play that for a bit. Where's the other boss? It'd be nice if it just told you instead of making you run around. Here we go.
「妖獣を倒し信州の民を救います」「私に会ったことを後悔しないといいですね」「行きましょう」出発です。行きましょう。行きましょう。炎上の光。妖獣を倒し信州の民を救います。参ります。 行きましょう。もう大丈夫ですよ。熱炎粉塵。出発です。
Is my mic on or what? Should be.
行きましょう。異様な気配はこの近くです。探してみましょう。5秒数
Okay.
万物となる。時期を見て動きましょう。行きましょう。ここの気は乱れています。まさか。出発です。行きましょう。参ります。あなたたち相手にはこの一式で十分です。炎上の光。さっさと片付けてしまいましょう。時期を見て動き。 万物となれ。出発です。行きましょう。あなたたち相手にはこの一式で十分です。時期を見て動きましょう。妖獣を倒し信州の民を救います。行きましょう。私が言いたい。
I am, yes, but I'm kind of annoyed that I'm not getting paid this month. I don't really need the money right now, but it's kind of annoying that I'm not getting paid because they advanced it last month. I thought that they would still pay us normally, but it turns out I have to wait. So, basically a whole month I'm not making anything off this channel besides Patreon funds. Luckily I've got my kitty sitting job, and I can't really go anywhere, so that's saving money, but it still sucks. I was expecting to get paid this month. I didn't know that they were just going to do that once. I honestly feel like they should keep doing it, because content creation is already such a inconsistent, unreliable source of income. I mean, for me, it just kind of pays for the games and stuff. I don't really depend on the money to survive, but a lot of the larger channels do. They have it honestly worse than I do right now, because they need that money to live and stuff. It's just kind of a minor nuisance for me, but for those people that are actually like supporting themselves and their family completely off ad revenue, it's a really shitty time. This kind of sucks. Dude, these guys have tons of health. I think I'm out of my league here. These guys are the dictionary definition of HP sponge. They are not dying. Please die? Come on. How much health? Jeez. Finally.
雑魚ですね。時期を見て動きましょう。
Well, I'm better, but definitely a little annoyed I'm not getting paid this month. So that's definitely a damper on my morale. I've had less pain though, since I've been controlling my anxiety. Thanks for caring. I'm glad people actually cared. I thought people would just shun me because I'm mentally ill and going through a lot. It's happened to me in the past, so glad I have a supportive community. I know everything that's happened is not my fault, so it's one thing that's helped. I'm also working on a secret project too. That's part of why I haven't been streaming. I don't know when I'll be able to reveal that. It's very unclear at this point. They haven't told me anything when I can publicize, you know, put it on the channel and stuff, so that's been taking up a lot of my time too. Dude, these guys have like 50 trillion health. What is this? Please die. getting repetitive. I need a better team or something. Or I need more stats, because this is just boring. Not being challenged at all. It's just numbers. Not winning at the numbers game. Please die already. That's why I like the other mode in this, because the stats don't matter as much. I'm not really good at the whole team synergy thing in this game yet. The other mode is a little bit more skill based, because you can clear pretty much the hardest content with a shit character if you're good enough. And I really like that about it. I did that a lot on first couple days it was out. The open world bosses and stuff. I was able to take them out just by playing well. And I guess in this end game mode, you just need to have a really good team or something, because this is just getting excessive.
静かにしてください。
You gonna have 50 trillion health too? I hope not. I'm tired of that already. The bar's like barely moving. I want this to be over already. Why am I doing like pixels of damage? I can see why people want the, they want this to be split from the whales, because this is kinda dumb. I've spent a decent amount of money on this game too, and I can't make a dent in these guys. I'm just doing pixels, which is boring. I need to get a better team, I guess. I'm getting bored doing this. I kinda just want to stop. I'm not even having any problems dodging this stuff. It's just that they have a billion health for no reason. Like, the other mode is way more up my alley, because it's more skill, and not just, you're not producing high enough numbers, so everything takes 50 hours. Can I just leave? Because this is going to take like 20 minutes. Of course I can't leave. Fuck this. Yeah, you know I could do it, then why the fuck does it take like 50 hours? Why does everything have a trillion HP? I hate when games do that. It's like they can't actually make something difficult, so they just make everything have 50 billion health. It's never really been engaging to me. I actually like how Streets of Rage 4 does it. Streets of Rage 4 actually does it pretty well. Like, the enemies on Mania, they're just more aggressive, and they're like doubled. Which is artificial in its own way, of course, but they didn't go the generic, like, video game route of just making everything have 5 times the health. Which is not even really that difficult, it's just doing the same thing for longer. It just turns it into a battle of attrition instead of it actually being more difficult. I was genuinely surprised when I got on the harder difficulties and things didn't have, like, 10 times the health, because I'm just used to that. That's generally what harder difficulty means in action games. I'm glad they had the foresight to realize that the game is already kind of slow-paced. If they gave everything, like, 10 times the HP, it would take you like half an hour to get out of the first level.
してくれてありがとう艦長
All these people look the same. And okay, this is the one I was trying to find. I don't even like know their names. So just freaking the fire one.
まだまだ強くなれるわよ
This one's the only one of this character that's fun to use. The other ones are slow as molasses, like Monster Hunter shit. It takes them like an hour to attack once. Not my thing at all. Kind of reminds me of God of War. God of War is well known for... You have bosses that have like 3 attacks, but on the hardest difficulty they get like triple the health or something. It's like... It's not harder, it's just... It takes longer. And just by proxy that makes it harder because you have to perform better for longer, but the game is not actually more difficult. I remember my roommate was playing God of War 2 on the hardest difficulty, and that's basically what it was. Just the same 3 moves for 3 or 4 minutes longer. Expo. What's up, man? Sad I can't see you because of this stupid-ass virus. I was really looking forward to Fanime. I really needed a vacation. It's funny how long it took them to cancel, too. Like, the state was actually going to let them hold it. That's what I think was funny about it. They were still posting, like, guests and stuff until, like, a couple weeks before they canceled it. It's like, do you seriously think that the state's gonna let you hold it? They're not gonna let, like, 40,000 weebs meet in that cramped area, like, right when the restrictions were about to be lifted. It was just nerve-wracking for me, because it seemed like there was a chance that it could happen, but obviously the state was not going to let it. I guess a lot of it came from the fact that they had to find a way to, like, stay in business. Because they're, like, community-run. I still think they should have canceled a lot sooner, though. Because a lot of people were, like, planning flights and stuff, and they weren't able to really figure out if they were going to be able to go or not. It's like, why the hell are you guys announcing guests when it's like a 95% chance that it's not going to happen? It's like giving people false hope. I had no hope at all, as I know that we are in one of the strictest states in the nation in terms of opening shit back up. But, like, you guys are announcing guests. Like, come on now. I'm surprised Anime Expo had the decency to cancel. I remember they posted they made some tweet saying, you know, like, oh, stay safe during Anime Expo, and they had some, like, generic pink-haired anime with a mask on. It's like, do you seriously think the state's gonna let you have Anime Expo? That's like the worst convention. It's always been a massive hazard, even before all this crap happened. Like, people like passing out from heat stroke because the lines are like 5 hours long outside just to get inside, and then when you get in, it's like there's not even any room to move. And they posted some pink-haired anime and like, oh, just here's some tips to stay safe. Like the state's totally gonna let you have that convention. It's always been a massive fire hazard, and like if you have any kind of pre-existing condition, being outside in that heat is dangerous, even if you don't, because they always hold it during like the hottest time of the year. Yeah, I was really surprised when I saw people talking about how they actually canceled it. I thought they would try to find some way to hold it somehow and basically put our state in even more danger. I went to Anime Expo once, and I never once have ever wanted to go back again. I don't see the appeal of that convention. Yeah, they have a lot of big stuff there, things get announced there and stuff, but it's just a nightmare. You feel like you're in a Muso game at that convention. There's just thousands of people everywhere. You have no room to move. I'm surprised they haven't, like, tried to find a better venue for it or something. It's like Fanime has that same problem too, where there's more and more people going every year, and the center doesn't get any bigger. But Anime Expo is always like just a Muso simulator. It's a really shitty convention. I don't see the appeal of it. Basically just trying to fight through a crowd, and that's it. Nothing they have there is worth all the other shit you have to deal with. Anime Expo is terrible. Yeah, what's up, Claymore? Yeah, that's exactly true. That is Anime Expo. It's just if you want to be like a peon in a Muso game and just have like no room to move and just thousands of other people, then that's your convention. All the conventions are canceled, yeah, but I was talking about how Anime Expo was posting tweets about how they're trying to make it seem like they were going to have it, even though it was always painfully obvious the state wasn't going to let them do it. California is the strictest state, with one of the strictest states in the nation in terms of all the restrictions and shit, so I've always been surprised that Anime Expo has ever been able to operate, even before any of this happened. I can't imagine what would happen at that convention if there was any kind of disaster. Even just like a small fire or something in that place would be like terrible. Just getting out of that convention center at all would be awful. I got it last month. I just backlogged it because I was busy with other stuff, and I know nothing else. I'm not doing anything else this month at all. Just playing backlog shit. I'm gonna find a picture of Anime Expo so you guys can see. It literally is like a Muso simulator. I don't really get nervous in crowds. I can navigate crowds just fine, but I think it would make anybody claustrophobic. Just looking at the photo. There it is right there. That's like when you first get in the building when they're opening up and there's that many fucking people, and then as you get in and you get in farther, there's less room than that. That's actually one of the largest, like, radius areas when you first get in the building, but a lot of the hallways are really narrow. There's literally no room to move at all. Yeah, it's a really garbage convention. It's just kind of carried by the fact that they have all the big industry leaders there, so people get it in their heads it's worth to go. It's not. It's a shit convention. Definitely the worst one I've ever been to. And I've been to, like, small local conventions where there's, like, literally nothing of note to go there for besides just hanging out with like-minded people. But there's not, like, 50,000 people in a small hallway, and you're not gonna die of heat stroke going to those, so I consider them better. Comic-Con is bad too, yeah, I've heard. I've never been to Comic-Con myself. I did go to Anime Expo 10 years ago because somebody was picking me up there, so I was there for like a day and a half, and I thought it was Garbo. Before this virus was a thing, you definitely were always putting yourself at risk going to that convention. Also, the line to get in, like, literally snakes through town. The line, like, literally goes beyond the convention center. You can find photos of that, too, from, like, last year, when it was, like, 100 degrees outside, and people are waiting, and, like, ambulances with, like, heat stroke and shit. Like, I can't see why you would ever want to go to that. It's not worth it. You get a better experience just, like, I don't know, following some Twitter account that posts what's there. And just watch the trailers or whatever else it is that you're excited about. You can get the full experience that way. Not being a walking fire hazard. A few online friends want you to go to AX? Wow. Last year, I think it was last year or the year before, they had a local con here, and they had Steve Cardenas and David Yost here, and I think I was like the only person that cared that they were there. Like, I'm sure they got paid to be there, but they were totally not at the right convention. A lot of the nerds in this area are like younger, like teenagers or like maybe early college age, so they don't know who the hell those people are. I was there both days, and I don't think I think I saw like maybe 5 people go up to them. They look really bored to be there. I mean, I know conventions, especially when you're like a professional, can be really boring, but I mean, they had like no interaction at all. Just kind of there. Conventions are great if you have friends. If you're going there by yourself to just look at the events and stuff, they're very boring. And there are plenty of conventions that are like smaller, usually like local ones. Like the ones here maybe have like a couple hundred people tops. It's fun to meet people, it's a great place to meet people and just hang out with fellow nerds, but you run out of things to do really quickly if you don't have friends. Like, I don't watch anime at all. My friend Anthony is in the chat right now. I haven't watched anime since, like, middle school. And I go to Fanime every year just because I can hang out with my friends. It's a convenient place, especially as we all get older and have more conflicting schedules and stuff. But going to them by yourself is dreadfully boring. Not worth it at all.
まずい
Yeah, Anthony, I would feel legitimately concerned for if you went there. I don't really think your disability makes much difference at that convention, to be honest. Because nobody can walk there. I don't mean that in an offensive way either, I mean, like, honestly, nobody can walk there. Remember how to revive. How to revive again? There we go. I very rarely have gotten sick from conventions. I've only gotten the con crud like 2 or 3 times out of many years of going. It's mostly just like having a lot of vitamins and stuff. Making sure you actually sleep. Anime in particular, a lot of people get sick because it's a 24-hour convention. Meaning that there's shit to do like all the time. Now, I don't drink, I'm a straight edge, so I don't have that problem, but you add in the convention being open pretty much from non-stop, and people doing stupid stuff like drinking and not sleeping, and not eating properly, and that's generally what happens. But since I'm a straight edge, I've never really had that issue. Sometimes I get the con crash and the crud for like a couple days, and then I'm fine. I think, not last year, but the year before last, I did get con crud pretty badly for like a week.
けきれるか。負ける気がしない。
This would seem good, but this game has the age-old problem of having status effects and then none of them work on bosses. Which is why I've never been a fan of status ailments in video games. It always feels so one-sided. It's very rare that you play a game where like the status ailments can actually be inflicted on bosses. Which is obviously the meat of the game. I think it's kind of stupid. I've seen a lot of people complaining about that in this game. There's a lot of stuff that you can spec in, like, status ailments and stuff, but you get to a boss and none of that shit matters. Some of the recent Tales games have actually let you inflict status ailments on bosses, which is pretty cool. But most of the time, it's just like this game, where, you know, they can do all this annoying shit to you, and then you can't do it to them. Not sure what to spec him in. Yeah, the ninja one. I'm not an expert on this game at all. I'm just kind of playing it because it's cool. Cool looking. It's something to play right now. I didn't feel like doing content for this game. I'm not an expert on Secret of Mana at all. I was already at a pretty significant disadvantage. I hated the old Secret of Mana games. I hated the combat, how boring and slow it was. So I've never really been a big fan.
今の戦いオイラだけでも十分だった。
This one actually has pretty decent combat. It's serviceable, it's not super deep, but it is fun. There's nothing else going on in Gaming World right now, at least for me.
Monster モンスターいっぱいいる。なんでこんなに集まってる。ここに食い物いっぱいあるのか。
待って、彼らからは敵意が感じられ。
いらっしゃいませだぎゃ。何が欲しいだぎゃ。また来いだぎゃ。
待って、彼らからは敵意が感じられないよ。襲ってくる様子もないし。
いらっしゃいませ。何が欲しいだぎゃ。それはいいものだ。
早く使いたい。
それはいい
目利きには自信あるんだぜ。
East 9 is, like vaporware right now. It's not coming out anytime soon.
襲ってくる様子もないし、試しに。
いらっしゃいませ。何が欲しいだ
I
ぎゃ。
hear the frame rate's like really wildly inconsistent on the PS4 version. So if they localize it, hopefully they'll put it on PC.
また来いだぎゃ。
Yeah, but things don't have 50 billion health in this game. That's what I hated about Dragon Quest Heroes. Everything just had like a trillion health for no reason. It was really boring. And like a lot of the movesets were like dreadfully slow too. They felt stiff. You couldn't cancel out of things right away, which felt kind of odd considering like everything is hyper armored. The only things that actually stagger are like just generic mooks. Like the lowest ranked monsters, everything else is in hyper armor. And then they had all like the raid bosses and stuff, which were like almost impossible unless you're running like an optimized build or you had people to play with, which I played the game like 2 years after it came out, so obviously nobody was on. I think I used like I used like Cheat Engine to give myself like 30% extra damage, and that made that game far more manageable. But like just the base damage, it was actually legit hurting my hand to play that game because of how many times you had to attack to kill anything. I enjoyed it enough to finish it, don't get me wrong, but felt like there were a lot of things wrong with it. You actually feel like you're making progress in Trials of Mana so far, which is what I like. Nothing has an excessive amount of health. And people have like been killing the post-game boss in like a minute flat or something, not even maxed out. You're actually expected to dodge the attacks, but the enemies don't have like 50 times more health than they should, so it actually flows at a pretty good pace. I wish there was more to the combat for sure, but it's a pretty well-designed game. Dragon Quest Heroes 2, I didn't play the first one. I heard the first one was mostly like tower defense and escort missions, so I didn't really care to play it. Why am I not getting paid? Because they paid me last month. So I have to wait until next month to get paid. I still don't have my stimulus check either. I've been waiting for that for like over a month now. I still don't have it. I wanted to upgrade my PC. That was what I was going to use that money for. To get an i7 9700K and then double my RAM and then maybe get like another SSD. Get a new power supply and then basically have a new computer besides a GPU. I don't really think there's a good upgrade path from the 2060 for me right now. I don't need it at the moment. Can go without that. Probably wait until the next generation of budget cards is out. But yeah, I'd basically have a new computer. That's what the plan for that money is. If I ever get it. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Well, Grow, I know you're a new PC gamer, but basically there's never a good time to upgrade. There's never a good time, even right now, where everything's all messed up, factories are shut down, and production speed is like greatly limited. There's just never a good time to upgrade. You just kind of have to upgrade the best you can with whatever resources you have, funding or whatever. Like I already like figured out exactly how much money I would be spending. I'd be spending about $700, and I would have basically a new computer. Again, except for the GPU. I don't know if the i7 9700 actually needs water cooling or not. I haven't considered that yet, but basically new CPU, 32 gigs of RAM, and then I want to get another SSD because these games are getting too damn big. I had my buddy Mike, he gave me a key for Injustice 2, and that shit's 50 gigs. I'm like, how the hell is a fighting game 50 gigabytes? Like, game developers are just at the point where they're like, oh, well, storage space is cheap, so we don't need to actually compress our data anymore. All I want to do is just future-proof my PC, because I don't see... They would have to announce something megaton like, I don't know, Sengoku Basara 5 or something to get me to buy a PS4 right away. Not PS4, but PS5. That's not the kind of thing they're going to be announcing at launch either. That would be like months down the line. Also, they've already said that their production, because of the virus, for the PS5 is going to be like a fraction of what they thought it would be. I mean, if people are scalping Switches for freaking Animal Crossing of all things, I can't see myself getting a PS5 even if I had some reason to get one right away. And people are like, bots are buying up Switches just to capitalize off Animal Crossing, which is like the weirdest killer app I've ever seen for a game console. People go crazy for that shit. Going to be tons of scalpers. Probably going to be like no PS4, PS5s at launch. Everything comes out on PC now anyway. Almost everything. Like that, what was that game called? Scarlet Nexus? Scarlet Nexus, people were like super excited for that because they announced it at the Xbox conference they did last week. And people were thinking about buying an Xbox for it, and then like a couple hours later, like, oh, it's coming out on literally every other platform too, so... like, who cares? Nobody watches Xbox conferences to actually buy the product on the Xbox. No reason to do that. Game industry is so different now. Games cost so much to make. The big three would have to like money hat like crazy to make something exclusive. This track is so good. I love this track. Greatest video game of all time right here. The greatest. The pinnacle of the medium. Legendary video game that nobody's played. The best video game. The king of games.
この中
I remember when I was in the beta test for this, and he added the tag mode, and like that was just some of the most cosmic brain shit I've seen in any video game. Like a character action game with big ass movesets and actually letting you tag out. And it was originally only supposed to be in the last level, but then I told him that that would make it amazing unlockable. Like beat the game with both characters and get the tag. He put it in, and the rest is history. It's like one of the best tag combo games. Greatest video game of all time. Greatest video game ever made. It's only downhill from here. The ultimate video game. That was a pretty good fight, too. Very clean. This game was made by one guy too, which is both impressive and depressing. Like, this guy made a really damn solid game by himself. Obviously there were beta testers and, you know, there was a publisher, and I was one of the beta testers, and he didn't do the music, but, like, all the game design was by him. And this is better than, like, what a lot of the Western studios can do with action games. So it's just a fun game to play. It's just like one of my security blanket games. Just when I feel bad, I just turn this on and just tear shit up for a couple minutes. I instantly feel better. Very fun game to play. Guy is like the unsung hero of the stylish action game community. Put a ton of work into this game, and most people have not played it. But a lot of that is because there's no console for it. I don't know why Nipponichi Software did not, like, commission a port for this. really should have put this game on console. I did my best to promote it. I know I got a bunch of people to buy this game, but I'm only one person. I don't think any of the big channels played it. Apparently his next game is going to be like a stylish action roguelike. I'm all about that, if that's true. I haven't checked his Twitter account in a while. Maybe he's posted some progress. I should probably look. I love this game. Greatest video game of all time. I think some people covered it during early access, but the problem with getting big channels to cover early access games is that they often don't go back. So this game was very rough around the edges when it came out, that's for sure. I'll be the first to admit that. It's very janky. It's still a janky game, but it's definitely playable. It's just sometimes random shit will happen, or sometimes the controls won't work properly. There's certain moves that just don't come out like you'd want them to. Random glitches and stuff will happen, but I mean, it doesn't really dampen the experience of the game. But at the beginning it was very janky. It was kind of a shadow of what it is now. They only had like the first level, and then the full moveset was not ready and things like that. But that's just kind of the reality of getting people to cover your early access game, is most people are not going to come back. So it's not even about a first impression thing. It's just if you're in early access, unless it's like almost completely done, you're going to get those channels to look at it kind of once, and that's it. And that's just how it works. There's really no other way to go about it. I always check back on the early access games I play because I like them, but not everybody has the time and patience to do that. I also like this character too because her whole thing in the plot is basically she wants everybody to shut the fuck up and just let her fight. So she's like a self-insert for the average action gamer who actually likes playing action games that doesn't want 50 hours of cutscenes and forced walking sections and shit. And like people will be talking, and I remember in the story a lot. She just says like, "When do I get to fight something?" That's just such so self-aware. Like action games in general, all the stupid padding and stuff that they have now. That it may be interesting once if you're lucky, and then every other time you do it, it just gets in the way. I really like that they had a character that was like self-aware, kind of like a self-insert for people who play action games, people who actually play them, not just people who say that they play them, or like reviewers and stuff that want variety and puzzles and shit, which they don't realize that those things ruin the games in the first place. No, I really liked Amelia as a character. She's kind of like perfect kind of character for that game. Like just stop talking and let me fight. You hear me say that a lot, and she actually says stuff like that too. Very very endearing from somebody who's been playing beat 'em ups and stuff for so many years. I think I'm gonna do one more thing, and then I'm probably gonna get some sleep. I didn't realize it was 11:30. I still thought it was like 10 o'clock or something. I've been on for almost 2 hours. I think I'm gonna play some TNWOA, so give me a second to set that up. I don't know why the PC release is taking so long. That's a very good question. I think I'm just gonna play through like the first 2 or 3 levels and go to bed. I'm actually getting kind of hungry. I should probably have a snack and then take my meds and crash. I actually felt quite good today. I had like almost no anxiety pains at all. It's just mild stuff, which I'm used to, but nothing like super bad like a couple days ago. So I should continue to take it easy. I just feel like playing casually for a little bit. Just want to check his Twitter. I wonder what he's working on right now. Looks like he's working on another action game, which I'm all about. Seems like a proof of concept type thing. Like if you notice, those are the assets from Assault Spy. That's Amelia and a bunch of the Negabots, just with no textures. But looks like some kind of like aerial anti-gravity fighting game or action game. He's not very active on Twitter. That post was like over 2 months ago. So I don't know if it's like a sequel or what, but I'm all about it. I need to get a 1cc on video for this at some point. I might start practicing for it this month. It's mostly just the fifth boss, the anime ninja guy. I don't know his name. Been playing this game since the original one. I don't know that guy's name, but he's the gatekeeper because he has a lot of bullshit attacks. I need to practice that. I hope I can get a 1cc on the channel at some point. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me tonight. I think I'm gonna make a snack and take my meds and try to continue not being so stressed out that I get really bad headaches and stuff. So I need to continue that. Next video is going to be up in 10 minutes, so if you guys want something to watch, you can go ahead and hit up the channel. Tomorrow I'll probably do the same thing. Probably do some more Trials of Mana. Probably some Ninja Warriors, and then I don't know what else. Whatever I feel like playing. So yeah, I will see you guys whenever I'm available tomorrow or I feel like it. Later.